This is Groundeffected. Today, my video is sponsored by Tanuki Figures. And if clicking on the thumbnail and the title didn't make it obvious enough, well, today I'm painting Leon, which, by the way, is going to be a gift for my wife because she really liked this game. 18 seconds into this video, I'm already going to start painting because nobody's got time or the attention span to watch videos about I don't know what anymore. But we are painting this model of Leon from Tanuki Figures, and my wife has just completed this game, so I figured this would be a fantastic thing for me to paint and put on the mantelpiece in my house to look at all of my errors for the rest of my life. But we're gonna do it anyway. Let me just tell you about the sponsor of this video, which is Tanuki Figures. They are a Patreon over on Patreon who created the sculpt of this Leon. It was essentially a model which you get an STL file for, and you can 3D print it yourself. You can subscribe to them for $20 a month, and this will give you 6 full-size figures, 6 busts, a chibi, an extra tune, 6 legacy figures, plus 6 from the welcome pack. It's dude, it's like 30 figures for the price of $20. That's it. That's as simple as that. If you do that every month, you are literally going to have so many models, you will never be able to run out of models to paint ever again. And they create models across a huge range of different areas within hobbying. So there should be something for everybody, and they are sponsoring this video. So you should go check them out because they have asked me very kindly to tell you to go check them out. Thank you for that, Tanuki. You are fantastic. Love you, bye. Let's go back to painting. Now, this is quite a dark model. There is a lot of dark things, mostly black. So we're going to try to bring some color into that, and I'll show you exactly how we do this. Let's start with the pants. I'm going to paint a green highlight on the top of them and put a matte over the top of that. But that's not enough depth. So I use some black Templar to put some depth in the shadows, as well as paint the shoes, so that they're a different black from the other blacks that I'm using on the model. Now I'm going to use a grey primer and just put a zenithal highlight over the skin tone parts of the model, and I also put that on this little strap for the gat on his back, which I then sprayed a color of brown over the top. And speaking of brown and also color, this is how I'm going to get some color into an otherwise very non-colorful base. He is standing literally on concrete, and that's it. This entire thing is just a piece of concrete, so I wanted to bring some color back into it. And to do that, I'm going to be using some specific colors. You'll notice I used a reddish brown to spray in a couple of spots on the base. Then I'm going to use a green kind of gray color and use that for the first dry brush, and then a violety gray kind of color. And the reason for the choice of the green is because that is a complementary color to the reddish brown that I put down. It's not going to be a complement as such, but it will help to force those colors off of each other, as you can sort of see in the images you are seeing. The violet color, however, is a complement towards this blue, the dark blue that I'm putting down, and they're not as bright and stark as you would imagine, but just having a little bit of extra color into those pieces, like saturation into the piece, is going to help to just make it look a little bit more lively and less boring. Because of course, if I had to just paint this whole base grey, it would just look grey, and that I think is boring. Now I'm going to paint the letters on the, I don't know what this banner is on the floor, but it says his name, so I'm going to paint Leon's name in golden colors on the banner. And now, I did watch this entire game with my wife while she played it, so I have an idea of what happened and what went on, but I don't understand the banner on the base, so maybe you can let me know what that's about in the comments down below. Now, on the base, in the renders, there is a load of blood, so I tried many different techniques. Namely just splatting it on, I tried flicking it on, I tried airbrushing it on, and then I ended up just dripping it on off of my brush. This made the most sense. Now, getting back to the pants, I'm going to use black, plain black, to paint the belt. This will help separate it from the rest of the colors of the pants. And even though it looks black in my hand, it's not. It's obviously, you know, black is different next to a shaded black with a green shade on the top of it. Obviously, I used dark silver to paint the buckles and the metal bits, and that's pretty much it for the pants. But I also used dark silver to paint the buckles and the zippers and things on the pouches that Leon has around his waist, because of course he has some pouches, which you may have noticed earlier. I just primed these and put a satin varnish over the top of them. And since this is going to my wife, it's going to my house, I'm literally going to glue everything together. Absolutely no magnets on this one, because I hate my life, and I might want to just really be angry at myself one time when I need to move my house and then the model gets smashed because I didn't think about taking it apart. Anyway, let's just talk about this flashbang that is on his waist belt, and I used some black green and the closest nearest to me drab olive green that I could find. I mixed these two colors together and I sprayed that over the entire thing. I then put a semi-gloss or satin varnish over the top, and then a silver over the ring pull thing, and also the handle across the top of it as well. I'm then going to paint a little bit of a yellow, which is not really, to be honest, with things like this, because it's quite dark, I would use something like a yellow ochre, because it will still appear to be yellow. It's not like bright yellow, but a yellow ochre paints over dark colors really easy, like genuinely really easy. So if you're ever struggling to put yellow over a certain thing, maybe you want to start with the yellow ochre, and then you can build yellow over the top of it if you really wanted to. But that's pretty much what I did. I set that aside to dry while I worked on the shoes, and the shoes were pretty straightforward. They are just black shoes, so we need to kind of mess around with things here. I'm going to mix some of this greeny grey color that I used before, bronze green I think it is, with some black, and I'll paint that into a small section of the shoe itself. This is just like that little area in the front where the perforation is, so that your feet sweat smell can go out of your shoes. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it's designed for, but anyway. Then I used a gloss black over the laces. This is because it's just helping to show different sort of textures on the shoes themselves. Then plain black as it is across the oh man, I don't even know the words of shoes, but the sole section, and then that creates enough difference between all the little panels that they look believable as shoes. I want to put a little bit of dust on this dude's shoes because I imagine they should be dusty. Now I'm busy testing a machine from UFA that is a printing machine, so I decided to test this on making these stencils. I'm still undecided about this. I don't think this is good for every stencil, but in this case, it worked really great because I can print the whites, which means that I can put a stencil, which I made personally, onto this flashbang without having to actually paint it white first, and then put the stencil on, and then make sure the background is... Anyway, stenciling is a whole nother thing. Making transfers, there's a little bit of trickery to that, but it is what it is. Now, Leon's skin, the way that I thought about it is that this is a pretty man. This man is a beautiful, pretty man, so he needs to have beautiful, pretty skin. So I'm going to give him the same treatment that I would give a lovely, beautiful, pretty lady. In which case, I'm going to make him very pink in the undershadows. And I didn't even put any red in this time. Although, I think that might have been to my detriment, because I had to come back and really force some of that orcish dermis in the shadows, because it was just not, it was too pink. It was way, way, way too pink. His skin tone is quite light though, so using the base flesh tone that I have here, this will help to really force the highlights on the skin tone itself. The only problem with making lighter skin tones is you would imagine that using lighter skin tones helps to create a lighter skin. It doesn't. It makes them look desaturated. So to bring that color back in, I use a yellow glaze. I mix a whole lot of water with that yellow ink and I spray that over. And the reason this works is because yellow over the top of pink turns an orangey color. This is why all that saturation comes back. But that's a conversation for another time. Let's talk about the disease on his arm. Okay, I'll be honest, I don't know why he has this stuff. This part I also don't know. So again, comment section if you want to explain to me why he has this stuff. And it'll go in one ear and I will forget it by next week probably. I don't know. Maybe, to be fair, I should probably just ask my wife. But it doesn't matter. I painted with the airbrush some Griff Charger Grey over the top of it. I'm going to use this Griff Charger Grey for something else later. But because I'm using quite a fair amount of it, it's quite dark bluish kind of color. And I used the lighter skin tone to paint the little like veiny things of whatever the disease is. I then masked up his arms. Yes, I know, it's crazy to hear the words masked out of my mouth, but I masked up his arms so that I could spray his t-shirt with a dark Prussian blue. And I did purposefully go a little bit lighter with this because in the renders it's quite dark, and I feel like in the game it would be dark too, but I want it to be not too dark. I want a little bit of color in this piece and not be fully just black. But I did use some black to put some shadows in underneath his arm muscles and his chest muscles and things like that. And here is the exact reason why I hate masking. Because no matter what, you're still going to have to come back and tidy up edges. That's just the nature of the beast. Now, time to paint all of the straps. And the straps I did with just plain black. Just pure black out of the bottle. I mixed this with water, obviously, to help make it flow. And I did all of the straps with that. His watch strap, by the way, I painted with a gloss black. This is a paint that Vallejo makes. It's black, but it's just glossy. And I used that for the strap. And the watch face are printed using that UFA machine as well, which I literally printed straight onto the model itself. It is not as satisfactory as I thought it would be. It does the thing, and it's about as good as what my printer would have printed anyway. So it's not fantastic, but it's cool. It was easier than using my normal printer to make a transfer and doing it, because I just printed it straight on. But there will be a video about that machine soon, and hopefully we can think of something cool to use it for. For all of the straps, the metal straps, I used dark silver, and I just painted them all with that. And then I used the gloss black to paint the buckles or the clips that hold his awesome harness on his body, which, as you can see, creates a difference between the blacks. Shiny black is different to matte black. It's as simple as that. One would argue that the shiny black is more black than the matte black, but it doesn't matter. It's just that all we're doing is we're playing on different effects over this top. If it's shiny, it's going to have one look, and if it's not shiny, it's going to have another. Now, obviously, I dry brushed the gat on his back, massive shotgun, with some dark silver, and then I'm going to just stick this thing into place. This has a little strap that is keyed in the front, and the gun is keyed in the back, but the strap does kind of need to be glued in place because it doesn't key in anywhere, so that's it. Remember I talked about how we use different gloss and shiny and things to make different effects, so it looks like we painted different colors? Same thing on the gloves. It's exactly the same thing. Where it's folded over, I'm going to paint with a matte. Also, the little patch on the front of the hand, that thing I'll also paint with a matte black. And then across the fingers, you've got like little guard type things. I'll paint those with a matte black as well. And that is enough to create some interest in that piece. As simple as that. There is a little Mr. Raccoon on the back of the base, and I figured now is the time for me to paint him, which there's not really much I can say about this other than I just have to use black. I already zenithaled him, which means that he's basically got some sort of highlights and shadows on him anyway. I can just paint a solid black over everything, dry brush his lettering on his base, and then I painted a satin gloss over the top of him and stuck him in the back of the base and forgot about it. Now, to use that double use of the Griffcharger Grey, using the airbrush a little bit further away from the model gives me a finer mist and not as blue, with a little bit more of a grey colour. But getting closer gives me a darker blue colour, and that's how I make a difference between the Z's on his neck and the 5 o'clock shadow. His hair, I made another mistake. I originally thought that I could use that leather grey, snakebite leather, whatever it is, and I feel like it was the wrong colour. Until now that after I watch it, I feel like actually it was the right colour. But I ended up committing to painting Sargor Brown over it anyway. So we're here, it's done. I will attempt to try and change the color slightly as we go along, but for now let's just paint his eyebrows, and for that I just use a small brush and Sargor Brown. I'm also going to paint on the inside of his eyes this Sargor Brown over the top section only, but this is because I want to make it look like his eyes are a bit more prettier. So I'm really darkening that section of his eye up. I just don't want to use pure black. I painted the disease on his neck the exact same way as I painted the disease on his arm, by using the lighter skin tone and a very thin brush and just carefully tracing the little veiny things. Now on the insides of the eyes, I pretty much wanted to make them a little bit pinker on the lower eyelid. I tried Orcish Dermis, but I immediately knew it wasn't good enough, so I ended up using a pink because this will be a little bit more contrast. This is the one way that I paint, is that I try things. I will put it down and realize it's right or wrong, and then immediately change it straight away. Or I might even go further in, and then I will, like for example the hair, I'm not going back to paint that because I'm done. I finished painting it, so I'm going to try to fix it by just adding some colors to it. That's what I did. So I ended up adding this greeny color over, which helps to make it look a little bit more grayish, because his hair's a weird color. It's like a gray color, but it's not gray. Anyway, I painted that over the top, which I also wasn't so happy with. I painted his lips with some Agos purple to make them really pretty, and then I took that snakebite leather and I just kind of roughly sprayed it over his hair, which helps to get rid of some of the powderiness, but equally it brings back some of the color in it. Now I checked up what his eye colors were, because I don't really see that in the game, obviously, but I looked up on the internet, and some said it was brown in the cutscenes, and others said it was blue, so I decided to go with blue. I figured it would probably be blue. He's a pretty man, it has to be blue. After I had painted the eyes blue, I then put a specular highlight with white on the corner of each eye, and now I can put the head on the model and call this one done. So we're at the end of yet another video, and I hope that watching me and between colors and things and not things helps you just realize that this is just, you're painting. It doesn't really matter. You can change stuff as you go. You can change stuff later. It's just paint. And I just hope that it really helps to give you a bit of a boost of confidence. Maybe you are just overthinking your next paint job. It's not as bad as you think it is. Just give it a go on, man. If it, what's the worst that could happen? You paint it wrong, you just paint it again. Or worst case, it's really that bad, then you use it to throw at the kids walking past your house. Or you don't do that and you just paint it again. But anyway, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who watches my videos. Especially thank you to those over on my Patreon, because without their support, none of this would be possible. Genuinely, they are propping this whole thing up on their shoulders, which is friggin' fantastic of them. So if you want to support me over on Patreon, please go check out my Patreon as well. And speaking of Patreon, thank you so much to Nikki for sponsoring this video. They are one of our big sponsors for the year, so go check them out. Of course, they're always worth it. And that's it. If you didn't like anything you saw in this video, then that seems like a you problem and not a me problem, and you should probably